Getting born in the state of. Where could it be? If I go anymore, they might copyright me. In Alabama, if I go any more than that, they might copyright me. California, rest in peace. Anyway, okay. Get back to serious. You always see the guitars back there. I do play the guitar. Welcome back, Buck the Movie Buff, and I'm going to talk today about American History X. Wow. Tour de force movie that touches all of your emotions. Very visceral. No other movie ever made like this, quite like this. And what an amazing part for Edward Norton to play. Edward Furlong too, right there from Terminator 2, who was discovered in an arcade by one of the producers, going out to look for that younger character and found him just shrugging her off, not wanting to talk to her, and thought this is actually the character, right, that I need to cast in Terminator 2 as the younger savior of the planet that O'Connor must protect, right? Sarah O'Connor must protect John O'Connor. Okay, no spoilers on Terminator 2, but I think you've all seen that. Comes back to play the younger brother of Edward Norton's character here in American History X, which is, might have been by some viewed as somewhat controversial at the time. I think it's just a very true story that's told very well. And Tony Kaye does it best. So why would I be playing what I just played at the beginning of the song by our HCP? Go figure it out. He also directed that movie, for that band, that rockin' band. I saw them July 2022 in Denver at the Mile High Stadium. And let me tell you, they were just debuting their first album, and a song off of it, Tip of My Tongue, was phenomenal. I actually to get to record that being there, and it was the first time ever played for a live audience, in the Denver part of the tour in America. So it was quite a special concert. Tony Kaye directed that video, which I would, you could see how talented he is, right, to create those filtered images, and Anthony Kiedis looking like Jimi Hendrix maybe, or this kind of Sgt. Pepper's look, as well as it has kind of a Buddy Holly from Weezer feel to it, the Danny video. But this is truly his masterpiece and had to come out quite early in his career. Edward Norton didn't win the Oscar, although was nominated for it. I think like he should have. It was phenomenal. To put it into perspective, my kids came across this DVD this year. First, actually, my son, and watched it, and I kind of like saw him watching it, so I sat down and finished it with him. And some scenes I just kind of had to close my eyes. It's a very graphic and intense movie to watch. A lot of things happening that might just not be for you. So do turn the volume down on my Fender. Do make sure to read imdb.com's parental guide. Make sure it is something you want to see. That said, it's a kind of coming of age story where the character coming of age, and spoiler alert, gets a chance to be changed by either following in his brother's bigotry and racist steps laid out for him, an example, or maybe not, and is challenged by his school principal for kind of slacking off and not taking things seriously and writing about Mein Kampf from Hitler on an English composition, instead challenged to write a composition called American History X. And it kind of tells the story really in a day, just about with some flashbacks that go back over their lifetime, and you see how they were raised by some, very racist communities in a way, and even some, prejudiced parents, right? Nonetheless, the 24-hour period in which the movie takes place is really intense and visceral, as I said, and jam-packed with a lot of what's really happening in the story. with his. And if you see the trailer, a lot of this is communicated. Edward Norton gets released in jail from basically a crime he is convicted for. And through the process of his incarceration in prison, he reconciles with himself and comes to be illuminated and enlightened with that he was misled by a certain character that is like kind of the puppeteer in California, Southern California, influencing all these young, frustrated youth into becoming, white supremacists and like neo-Nazis, and basically becomes very good friends with one of the characters that they have to do laundry duty together, who's black. And it's a very poignant story there, and how that individual probably saves him when he turns his back on his own race in the prison. And through the help of that principal that gets Edward Furlong to write the essay, he gets released and is able to get this kind of last day, with his brother, and trying to influence him and change kind of the way he thinks from the seeds he himself planted and that his brother was looking up to. So I think a movie is transcendental when it's something that I saw actually in the 90s in the cinema in 1998, I believe. I actually saw this abroad. I was in Mexico City and I watched this. When I saw it come out on DVD, I had to own it. And it's a legacy. And although some legacies must end, this movie is legendary. And I think it's really educational for anyone to see. But why is it transcendental? I think if my own children can watch this and just be blown away by it and captivated, glued to the tube. And that was how I felt. Like I watched it with my son, but the very next day he told his sister, like, we need to see this. You need to sit down. You need to like pop popcorn, take it seriously with movie etiquette, no talking. We're going to watch this through. And we all watched it together, even with my wife. And I think she might have seen it. I'm not sure, but it was a must see, even though some legacies must end. So if you haven't seen this, 1998 masterpiece, do try to get out and get a copy of it. It is rated R. It is something that maybe you want to read imdb.com's parental guide before popping popcorn and watching with just anyone in your family. But one of, I think, of the 90s most influential movies and social commentaries on the Southern California scene. So there we go. Buck the Movie Buff back with another DVD of his collection, and this time kicking it off with the Fender Stratocaster Plus 1993. Best Fender ever made right here. And with that, that's all, folks.